It's Black History Month, y'all.
And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
And we're diving deep into the vibrant world of anime to shine a spotlight on some black anime characters that are sprinkled throughout the animeverse that are actually drawn in not a disrespectful way. So let's talk about representation real quick. For far too long, the anime industry has been criticized for its lack of diversity and tendency to put up harmful stereotypes. With some grace though, most Japanese people native to the country most likely have never come into contact with a black or African American person. And most of what they perceive about black folks is through the media they consume that is contributed from the West, mostly America. So you know who we can blame for the way we're perceived in anime? Ourselves. Yes, that's right. We are to blame, but times are changing and a new wave of black characters are coming to the surface, which is amazing. I think the better depictions of black anime characters now is because this isn't the 50s anymore and the US isn't actually overtly degrading us like that. But before I get into that, this is Anime Relatable, where we take anime and pull out relatable themes in hopes to point us to Jesus. Now, whether you're a blurred or a regular anime nerd, you may have come across this video and you're like, Japan is homogeneous, so anime doesn't need to incorporate these black anime characters. What are we even talking about? And I get that, and I'm not trying to force anything, but anime has no problem depicting other ethnicities well and accurately in their work, and yet for a while, it seems like in anime, some black characters have gotten a short end of the stick. But before we get into that video, there will probably be many more black anime characters that I don't mention, and just to be honest, this is a disclaimer, I probably haven't seen the show, or I haven't seen enough to talk about a certain character, so please forgive me. There will most likely be some classic characters that won't be mentioned, but put them in below. I want to know who your favorite black anime characters are that are done in a really, really great way. First up on our list is none other than Afro Samurai, a warrior draped in the shadows of vengeance who is on a quest to avenge his father's death at the hands of justice and achieve the #1 headband. Armed with nothing but a sword and his afro and black melanin, Afro Samurai slices through his enemies with grace and style, all on his own, inspired by the rich tapestry of soul and hip-hop culture. From a Japanese person inspired by the influence of black and hip-hop culture, he was the first black MC that I experienced who was really that guy. And the show didn't make him look foolish or just being there for comic relief, and I appreciate that. Next up, we got our girl Canary. She's a butler of the Zoldyck family and Hunter x Hunter. She's mad strong and she don't play no games. Like, she doesn't allow anyone to step on the Zoldyck property, and if you try her, you just might be dead. When I first saw this character, I appreciated the way she was drawn, the kinky hair with the rubber bands at the end, and reasonable features that didn't make her look crazy. Shout out to Hunter x Hunter for doing this. Next up on our roster is Yasuke, sticking with the legend of the famous Japanese swordsman, a character whose tale unfolds in an alternate 16th century Japan with magic and mysticism. An African man named Yasuke went from being in the service of Jesuit missionaries to being a warrior of Lord Oda Nobunaga. He witnessed the fall of Nobunaga's forces against the army of the Dark General in the show, and with Oda's death and defeat of his forces, the Yamane Daimyo assumes complete control of the land, and sometime down the line we find Yasuke as a retired boatman who is tasked to protect the girl with interesting powers. And this is a fun ride of an anime that you can find on Netflix, and although this anime isn't my top 10, I appreciated how they had my guy locked up out here, locks flowing in the wind. Representation out here. So this character was created by a brother, LaShawn Thomas, who also made Cannon Busters, which I haven't finished yet, but that show also has black characters, and I appreciated this. He worked on this, so shout out to LaShawn Thomas. If you ever see this, I want to interview you. Next up on our list is a character that I'm curious to know how many of you guys actually know about this show. Is Neo Yokio's Kaz Khan, the suave and sophisticated protagonist of this weird anime, and it's set in an alternate reality where magicians rule the upper echelon of society. Neo Yokio offers a fresh spin on the classic coming of age tale. Kaz navigates the treacherous waters of high society with ease, and all while grappling with the existential angst of youth. It's a wild ride filled with laughs and love and plenty of twists and turns. It's a weird little anime with these crazy rich tones that I'll never know or understand in this life, but I appreciated Jaden voice acting this black anime character, and I thought the character design was pretty clean. Although this isn't the greatest anime ever, it's 6 episodes and that's a quick watch, and I only really watched the show because I had a Jaden Smith phase with his music that I thought was pretty good at the time. The next character that I believe is probably the best, I'm talking about the best represented anime character to date, is Onyankopon from Attack on Titan. As one of the anti-Marleyan volunteers working under Zeke Yeager, he brings a much needed fix to reality of black anime characters. Like, he's a dark-skinned man with a shortcut with a crisp hairline. It would only make it better if my guy had waves.
You're telling me.
I'm just saying, you can't tell me that Onyankopon isn't like the coolest and smoothest character in this show. And what's amazing about this is that at one point in this show, the Paradise Island characters ask him, why is he so black? And he gives the answer that's honestly the best ever.
おにゃんぽこんはなんで肌が黒いのですか?
俺たちを作ったやつはこう考えた。いろんなやつがいた方が面白いってな。君たちユミルの民も同じさ。俺たちは求められたから存在する。
誰が僕らを作ったの?
始祖ユミルに力を与えた存在。
Shout out to Onyankopon for affirming the image of God in these Eldian characters. Amazing. Last but certainly not least, I gotta give a shout out to the Boondocks.
I'm the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made.
This isn't just one anime character, but all of them. Like, it's a really, really funny show, culturally hilarious animated series that really pushed boundaries and trolled a lot of people with stereotypes. And from like radical Huey to street smart troublemaker Riley, the Boondocks offered like a plethora of characters that reflected the diverse experience of the black community. Huey, who is a radical revolutionary who reflects upon current events as well as the plight of African Americans as it relates to the greater American society. Like, he's named after Huey P. Newton, one of the co-founders and leaders of the Black Panther Party. Riley is a crazy behind 8-year-old who emulates the gangster lifestyle, and he gets into so much trouble and is often saying the first thing that comes to his mind, which is usually mad rude and would probably get Boondocks kicked off the air to this day. We also have Tom Du Bois, who is a kind of Uncle Tom in the show. Like, he has a white wife and a job as a prosecutor, which brings him into conflict most of the time with the black community and attempts to act as an upstanding white citizen. Then we have Uncle Ruckus.
Security, we got a cold black at the main gate.
He is viewed as an antagonist of the show. He embodies an old American working class stereotypes, as he is like crude and short-tempered, obese, clumsy, rule-breaking, and sort of a jack of all trades. And one of his most notable traits is his internalized racism. He is an outspoken white supremacist, even though he's black, and even claims to be an Irish American who suffers from reverse vitiligo.
Oh, the white man science is amazing, ain't it? Oh no, this can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why?
Like, yo, this show was crazy. It had a lot of biting satire and unapologetic humor. The Boondocks is a timeless classic of a show that continues to resonate with audience to this day. And although this show took shots and made fun of black culture, it was one of the animated shows that made me feel seen in the show, from the hair to the jokes and so on. There you have it. Those are black anime characters that I really appreciated and I thought were represented well in anime. But hey, the conversation doesn't need to end right here. I want to hear from you. Who are your favorite black characters in anime? Drop a comment below, hit the like button, and if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. What are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you next time.